It's just 24 hours until my daughter moves away from home. My voice is so thrashed from crying this evening that I don't even know if I can do this voiceover. Chef Chloe baked a batch of gluten-free, healthy cookies for her coworkers as she gets ready for her very last night at work. If you're new here, my name is Jenny. My channel is called Life Take Two because me and my children were caught in this Mormon traditional family life. And when I was 44, I left the church and left domestic violence so that this girl right here could have a different life than what I was forced into. And she does. And as she gets ready to walk out the door to work and then just walk out the door of her home and start her own life, I'm so proud of her, and honestly, it's a little bit overwhelming to actually see cycle breaking in action.
Bye! Bye!
I'm tempted to go film her car driving away too. Chloe was 14 when my ex-husband abandoned our family, and I became a homeless single mom. She turned 21 this fall, and she is the first woman for as long as I can remember or track down in my family line who isn't either married or a mom. Me and all of my sisters were 20 when we got married. My mom was 20, my grandma was 20, my great grandma was 20. And after my divorce and the disaster that happened in my life, because I had been financially dependent on my husband, my obsession for the past, sorry, crybaby, for the past 6 years, I'm just going to cry, has been making sure that my daughter has better opportunities than I ever had. Oh, it's so sad to come in her room and see boxes and everything packed. We're just going to take a little peek. Chloe is my artist. She's always creating art. Has your life brought joy to others? Take my flaws, and please let me take yours. This beautiful, creative little person, oh, she made this out of Sculpey, has been my longest running companion in life. I have officially spent more time with this little daughter than I ever spent with my parents and my family of origin, or with my ex-husband, because of a separation that we had for 3 years in the middle of our marriage. And while she's not my first child that's left home, I think she's going to be my artist just because we're so bonded. And her little brother is definitely going to miss her. Only other single moms are going to get this, but here's what I felt like for the past 6 years. I've often felt like somebody gave me a bucket with all of the resources and tools that I needed to take care of kids. And it was supposed to be easy. I was just supposed to dip into that bucket and give them what they needed every day, whether it's food, clothing, love, attention, time, a home, a bed. And as we went along in life, for a while I had all those things. So every day I'd dip into the bucket, I'd give my kids everything they wanted. Then my marriage fell apart, and their dad left us, just left us, financially abandoned us, physically abandoned us. But I still had kids, and I was still a mom, and so I didn't want them to freak out. We just kept walking along this path of life, and I would dip into an empty bucket every day and realize there was nothing there. And so then I would reach into my own soul to give them whatever was lacking. And there have been so many times over these 6 years when we would go to the grocery store and I wouldn't really have enough money for all the food that we needed, but I made sure that they had food, and I just went hungry. When I barely had enough money to take them to the thrift store to buy some clothes for back to school, and I'm wearing my daughter's hand-me-down jeans that she bought at a thrift store 5 years ago. In the past 6 years, me and my kids have lived in 7 different homes, and it's never been a move by choice. We've always been forced to move for a variety of different reasons. And again, because all of everything that happened in my life was because I was financially dependent on a man, and because of the Mormon trad wife lifestyle that I had so naively gotten into. I did everything to keep Chloe from that lifestyle. There was a period of time where we found a culinary arts degree, like a program, like a pull-out program through the high schools that's completely free, where she could graduate her senior year as a chef, all of her food handler's permits, her culinary arts degree, and it was 45 minutes across town. I could barely afford the gas. I had just gotten out of the hospital after COVID, was in a wheelchair for part of that time. Then I upgraded to a walker, and eventually during that 2 years, I was finally walking. And I would drive 45 minutes to drop her off, 45 minutes back home, turn around, drive her 45 minutes to pick up, and 45 minutes to get back home. And she graduated with that culinary arts degree. And it's been really fun to watch this little daughter catch on fire. She figured out a way to put herself into college, and my TikTok followers helped her buy a laptop and pay for some of the books that she couldn't pay for. Once she did that, she got herself a full-time job, and she worked sometimes 7 days a week, sometimes double shifts. She picked up every shift from every person that she possibly could, so she could just stack her bank account. She has a goal to be a homeowner by the end of this year. She's kind, she's sweet. She has such a tight schedule. It's ridiculous how like clockwork she's up and on her like 4-mile walk every morning. Then she spends a few hours at the gym in between all of the work and the school and a food blog that she runs. And she is an amazing big sister. She's an amazing little sister. She's an amazing aunt. And she is single. She is happy. She doesn't think about what her life is going to be like when she meets some man and it finally starts. Her life started a long time ago. And it breaks my heart just a little bit for the women in my family who didn't have the cycle breaker mamas like me. By the time I was Chloe's age, I was pregnant with my first child. I was ironing my husband's shirts. I was doing the grocery shopping. I was vacuuming, and my life was very much just a domestic servant. That's what my life was about. By Chloe's age, I would be writing my diary all the time about how depressed I was and how hopeless I was and how I just felt lost and isolated and lonely. Nobody ever asked 21-year-old me what I wanted to be. They just told me. I was supposed to be a wife, a mom, a homemaker. And that was that. You guys, every single morning I wake up and just go, oh my God, it's like the countdown. 5 days till Chloe leaves, 4 days till Chloe leaves, 3 days till Chloe leaves. It is so hard when they leave the nest and fly away. But I think that she's heading in a really good direction. And although she's going to be 2 hours away and I'm going to miss her so, so, so much, it will also be nice to have my tiny kitchen back and to see where she goes in life. All right, now I need to go figure out what I'm going to wear. We have reservations at Chloe's restaurant for 6:30 tonight so that I can just sit at her table for one last time.